Hi there, my name is Sean Logue. This is my Jing for week 4 of XML programming at Manchester Community College in the spring of 2019. I'm making my Jing for the lab mostly that we did this week. Just reading your instructions here. This week I would like you to download Visual Studio Community, learn how to use it for creating XSD. There's a lot of tutorials out there. Create a DTD for the XML file we have been working with, and then convert it over to an XSD format associated with Visual Studio. And don't neglect to supply a code sample. So going through this, you obviously want us to create a DTD for the file we have been working with. I wasn't sure what specifically you meant by that, since I learn better with working examples that I know work, at least for the most part. I copied your Richard Corey poem and did that. However, I also went back and created my own DTD and then XSD. Well, I'm about to create an XSD for the Raven, which I did in week 2. So to begin with that, we'll switch over to Visual Studio. And if we go here, this is a Richard Corey poem. I copied it pretty much exactly, I believe, from yours in your video. It had the DTD up here. I can show you that in a second. I actually deleted it. That way I could turn it into an XSD, which appears here. And I just created this XSD by going to XML and create schema from the original XML document. So this appears just like the tutorial I saw for a very small XML document. It's sort of like a sample document. And it looks like it worked. This is exactly his format, so I'm pretty happy with this. I hope this looks pretty good. And then if we look here, so this is my poem, This is Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, and my XML version of it. I kept it as it was instead of including all the sub elements like you did with Richard Corey, just because I figured it would take a while or I'd have to delete some. And since, we're trying to keep copies of everything, which I did make a dummy of this. I just figured it would be less tedious and more consistent if I didn't do that. So here's the poem down here, and then I created a DTD for it. So you have the doc type literature, which is my root element. Then in one of the videos you posted about attributes, or it wasn't one of your videos, but this one, let's see, up here. What he did is he made the attribute, I believe it was above the element that it belonged to. I believe that sounds right because it was under people and above husband, and it was an attribute about the husband. So that's where I made mine, because with Atlas for an attribute, and it just the attribute is basically just saying that it's for the element poems. The attribute is the poetic structure, and that'll be conveyed in C data because it's just saying it's trochaic octameter. And then yes meant that it was required. So if we had any future XML documents for different poems, they would have to list the poetic structure. Then I have the different elements, poems, which contains the Raven element within it. Then the Raven, which contains the author, language, publication date, and words elements within it. And then you have each of those, a little bit of PC data for each, then the words with the 3 different elements within that, and those are all PC data as well. So the last thing I want to do in this video is to, again, since I have a dummy, I'm going to delete this doc type here and this DTD. I'll save that document, and then I will create a schema for this. So quotes is an unexpected token. The unexpected token is that line 1 position 15. I did not realize that. Let me try to do this. If this doesn't work, then I may need to change that a little. Okay, let's try that. Line 1, position 38. Syntax for an XML declaration is invalid. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what this means. Let's try this now. Let me pause recording really quickly. I'll fix this, then I'll start again. One moment. Okay, progressing forward. So I fixed the issue with that. Um, I wish I had changed it on screen, but I wasn't sure exactly if it would work or not. So part of the problem was that my encoding was at the end and the standalone was in the middle. And I took a look at the what this shows here, and that was at the end. So I assumed that was the problem. So I fixed that. And then it said that there was a problem with the poems tag. Since I actually copied, I had a weird thing where after originally in my poem, before I converted it to, started using it this week, there was a poems tag here that described an attribute of the poem, the poetic structure. So I moved that up here, but I kept an end slash here. So that wasn't letting, it didn't recognize poems as an attribute. It thought it was just supposed to be down here. So I fixed that, hit create XSD, and it created it here. Um, so I mean, this is the format that it's supposed to be in, has the attribute name down here, which is what I remember seeing from the lessons the readings that you linked us to. And the use is required, access string. Okay, excellent. So I think this is all good. My video is pretty long now, so I'll shut up. But yeah, I hope this works. And yeah, thank you very much.